Previously on Cinema Therapy.
Why isn't this over?
Oh, like it makes me sad. It's like the end of Shawshank. This whole experience has been just crawling through
These people put so much time and effort into this, and they got into movies because they wanted to tell amazing stories, and they're doing bullshit.
I'd like to have a moment of silence for the heroes whose sacrifice was in vain. What the hell was that?
Pour one out for the homies.
Toss a coin for your Witcher? I don't know. Another time, Bella.
Edward.
Another day, another hospital that I put you in.
I can't live without you.
You won't. You're gonna have a part of me. He'll need you.
Do you honestly think that I could love it? Or even tolerate it if it killed you?
It's not his fault.
So she's embracing
You have to
death.
accept what is.
Because you've given me no choice!
He's not
Well, we're
wrong.
supposed to be partners, remember? But you decided this on your own. You've decided to leave me.
A woman has gotten pregnant, and the man is blaming her for the pregnancy. Do you see this?
Yeah.
Instead of being like, I had a hand in this.
To be fair to Edward, he didn't think that what's happening is possible.
Yeah, I'm a vampire, she's a human.
Although it seems like that's just because vampires have really piss poor sex ed.
She wants the baby.
Yeah.
He's saying you should get an abortion, she doesn't want to, and now he's mad at her for getting pregnant.
I am going to push back on you a little bit here.
Please do.
Because she is making a choice for him, and the choice that she is making for him without consulting him is, I'm going to die. And
You need to raise the child.
you need, like, I'm going to saddle you with a kid that you don't want that murdered me, the person you're in love with.
Yeah, okay.
Also not good. So this is a two-way street of garbage.
And look, I don't wish to be insensitive to, in real life, people who are in a situation
Oh,
where
this is
there's...
a terrible situation.
Yeah, where there's
This is a
pregnant-
real life thing. This is horrible, and so, like, there aren't good answers to this, right?
Right, I mean, there are real life situations where I'm pregnant and this pregnancy could kill me.
Yeah.
Right, there are real life situations where I want this baby and my partner doesn't. There are real life situations where a woman is blamed for a pregnancy, but not the man. Now, I guess in fairness to Edward again, Edward does blame himself for everything.
He blames himself for everything and then somehow punishes Bella for him blaming himself. He sucks.
It's a tangled web.
It's of stupid.
You will not learn anything about healthy sexuality from Twilight. You just won't. That's why I've got a video 60 seconds long, 60-second tips for 60-minute sex on Mended Light, my YouTube channel right over here. Check it out. So he's coming in.
He's gonna kill the baby because the baby killed the Bella.
Until he sees, oh gosh!
Why did we go for CG baby?
I don't know.
This
But-
was the worst decision in so
No!
many bad decisions.
No! What is happening?
Suddenly, it's not the Earth holding you here.
Ah!
You would do anything, be anything she needs. A friend,
It's a baby, but I can imagine her as a hot adult, so it's fine.
CG upped Mackenzie Foy, who is 9 or something when they filmed this. Like, it's creepy on every possible level.
Oh my gosh.
Imprinting is gross. And just in case you didn't think it was gross, we get to see that scene.
This is the most bonkers, hilarious crap I've ever seen.
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb. And him saying, well, you're whatever she needs you to be. A brother.
Cool.
A protector.
Sure.
You know, he doesn't mention lover here because it would be just too obviously creepy.
Real gross.
Here's why we have a CGI baby. Like, I think I understand narratively why they did it. It's because they really wanted to link in your mind. They put the face of an older actress on this baby.
Yeah.
And then show that
They
actress...
did like a Mackenzie Foy, who is playing whatever, 9-year-old or however old she is, because she's only like a month old or 2 months old.
So they take her and then they age her up to like...
They age her up to like 20, and then they age her down
to baby.
To baby. But this is stupid. This is not how movies work, or the human brain.
So he's going to transition from brother to lover, and this is awesome.
Worked great in Game of Thrones.
I feel so bad for Taylor Lautner because in this precise moment, he reads the script and he's like, and there goes my career.
That's it. I'm never going to work again.
We're now doing all sorts of plot gymnastics to make it okay, but it's not okay.
It isn't.
It is.
There's no way to save this.
And when he looks with longing and love like at this baby, it's almost worse that they're saying, well, he's not in love with the baby now. He's just imprinted. Because what you're saying is, okay, so you're going to take the role of an uncle, which is very much the role he takes. You're going to take the role of an uncle until this child grows up enough for you to be a romantic pair. We are literally saying grooming is good.
Grooming is good.
I am so mad right now. And what's weird is it's having this conversation with you, because when I watched it for the first time,
You were just like, this is bonkers and
like,
funny.
This is wild.
Yeah.
This is the closest thing I've seen to an English telenovela. Like an English language telenovela. I'm like, all these plot points are just completely bonkers and it's horrible and I am riveted.
Yeah.
And now, like, as we break it down, now I'm actually like freaking pissed off.
I'm just tired. I think you beat me.
Good job.
I'm just a freaking corpse.
I hope you're happy. Alan Seawright, global treasure. You've beaten him to a pulp.
Global treasure.
Jacob.
Edward
she's doing
knows.
great. Yeah.
Because he can read
Let's not
minds.
push it, though.
And Bella's like, why are you being so protective? It's not your baby.
Do tell her, Jacob.
This is actually a great
This should
scene.
be good.
See, I want Kellen Lutz being that guy in every movie. That was great.
Look. It's a wolf thing.
What's
I
a
love that
wolf
his
thing?
voice cracks on Wolf there. Wolf thing.
You know we have no control over it. We can't choose who it happens with, and it doesn't mean what you think, Bella. I promise.
Take Renesmee out of the room.
Oh.
Edward, don't touch me right now. I don't want to hurt you.
Oh.
You imprinted on my daughter?
It wasn't my choice.
She's a baby!
It's not like that. You think Edward would let me live if it was?
Still debating it.
I've held her once. One time, Jacob! And already you think that you have some moronic, wolfy claim on her? She's mine!
This is deeply satisfying.
Yeah. Especially for Edward. Like, Robert Pattinson finally gets to act, and he's like, yay, I'm acting.
You're gonna stay away from her.
You know I can't do that.
You can't.
Stop her, Edward. We said it's fine.
He said it's fine.
It's amazing, right?
Do you remember how much you wanted to be around me 3 days ago? That's gone now, right?
Long gone.
Because it was her. From the beginning, it was Nessie who wanted me there.
Nessie? You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?!
Seth, are you okay?
Should have stayed out of it, Seth.
Seth, I'm sorry.
He'll be all right. Bella. You know me better than anyone. All I want is for Renesmee to be safe, happy. Look, nothing ever made sense before.
Still doesn't.
You, me, any of it.
You're right. None of that
I
made sense.
understand why. This
Because I was in
the
love with the egg inside of you.
I was literally in love with something in your ovaries.
Okay, so first of all, this, as far as filmmaking, scripting, acting, and entertainment value, is the best of a bad situation.
Yep.
This is a...
Super fun to watch.
You nicknamed my baby after the Loch Ness Monster!
So great.
And here's
Edward just being like, please this punch that Jake's getting the crap kicked out of him by his newly superpowered wife is just like,
And they're like,
yes.
Edward, stop it. He's like, he says it's fine.
He says it's fine.
Like, there is so much about Breaking
it's
Dawn
great.
Part 2 where the series embraces that it's bonkers
Yep.
and actually has a sense of humor about itself.
Yep.
Listen, if the rest of the series were as entertaining as Breaking Dawn Part 2...
Then it would be Fast and the Furious Vampires and Wolves edition.
Yeah.
Which would be amazing.
Because Breaking Dawn Part 2, I have to say, is entertaining as hell. It's bonkers.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to make something very clear. Alan and I are on the same page with this. We dump a lot on Bella and Edward, the characters, and on the performances as directed and written of those characters,
Yep.
we are fans of Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart.
I'm a fan of Taylor Lautner in the like 2 things he's done that aren't this.
So you liked him in Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
in Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
I argue that they are great actors, and people fight me because they've only seen Twilight, and I'm like, okay, first of all, you need to do more indie films because both of them have been fantastic in indie films.
Tons of indie stuff, and they do great work.
Like really great work. But here in this scene, we actually have an in-house, in-series moment where you can see that if they were allowed to, they could be great in these roles.
Yeah.
Breaking Dawn, Part 1, the childbirth scene legit traumatized me. It was the most traumatizing thing I've ever seen in a PG-13 movie.
I don't know how they got a PG-13 on it. Honestly, I mean, they don't show a lot of. There's some blood and there's like viscera and stuff
But
on
the
Edward.
sound design.
The sound design just.
And so, like, basically, the baby's killing her from the inside. So he has to.
They start trying to do a cesarean, and then he bites his way through the rest of the cesarean section to get the baby out. I'm just picturing her tummy being corn on the cob, and him just like.
Oh my gosh! That's horrifying. And then she goes into this transformation, which is straight out of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films.
Oh, it's a complete ripoff.
It is a complete, like, here's the DNA, it's being altered, that they do like 3 or 4 different times in those movies with like Sandman and Spider-Man and like all these different characters.
Yeah.
But like, I have to give credit where it's due. I know we bag on these films, but the moment where Bella goes from like emaciated corpse and she transitions into superpowered vampire and you watch it happening and you like hear the ribs crack back into place and stuff is really effective filming. Am I wrong? Because you're the expert.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. And frankly, the body horror stuff, like, there's some really effective filmmaking in that, too. It's, like, they were trying to make you disgusted and freaked out.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
And that shot, especially once she dies and they have that overhead shot over her emaciated corpse.
Yeah.
It's makeup and CG, and the CG is flawless. It is really good. You know, kudos
Credit
to
where it's
whatever effects house did that work on shrinking her down and making her emaciated, because you guys did great work. And it's really effective. And ending a movie on a cliffhanger of her eyes popping open and then you cut to credits is like, oh, what are we going to do with the next one? Like, I was actually...
And her eyes are red.
I was actually legit like, hey, do we get to have fun now?
Yeah, because we've earned it.
We've
definitely earned it.
And it turns out, yes, we do get to have some fun.
There's some fun to be had in that last movie. So Bella's superpowered, which Kristen Stewart has a lot more fun, and the character's just way better when she's a superpowered vampire.
She makes decisions. People listen to her.
Yeah.
You know.
And I'm sitting here like, Edward, once again, it's like every cool thing Bella wants to do or worthwhile thing Bella wants to do, he's like just throwing an anchor overboard and letting it drag.
Yeah. And
then she finally does the cool thing that she always wanted to do, like have sex or become a vampire. And turns out both of those things made her super happy.
Yeah.
And Edward fought her on both of them.
Fought her tooth and nail.
Just finished Rocky IV. Got inspired.
Hey. You heard anything?
Charlie? Bella's...
No, she's not.
No.
Dead.
I mean, she's fine. She's back home and she's feeling
good bit
better.
of acting. From
both of them.
From both of them, even though he delivered the lines stupidly, and that's why Charlie freaked out.
There's something you need to see first.
I need to see Bella.
Look, in order for Bella to get better, she had to change.
So he's trying to not reveal the vampire world.
Change?
Yeah, he can't do that because then the Volturi will come and kill Charlie.
So he's at least just going to reveal that things are weird and supernatural. But to Charlie...
What the hell are you doing?
You don't live in the
Correct.
world you think you do.
Ow!
Jacob, put your clothes on.
Now this may seem strange.
Because
really
it is.
strange, but stranger things happen every day. Trust me.
But Charlie is not leaving anymore.
I love how he like heats up during the transformation. I wish they'd done that on every transformation.
Look, Charlie's been in hell, and I know you'll be much happier with him in your life.
Jacob, don't try and pretend you're doing this for anyone but yourself.
Well, shut up, Edward.
Sorry you feel that way. Because he'll be here in 10 minutes.
What?
Really good delivery on that line. Like, that was legit funny. That was a real laugh.
What the hell happened in between films 1 through 4 and then film 5, where suddenly it's at least entertaining and the comedy works and the character beats work and there are emotional beats that work? I don't think I can think of a single series that is so consistently atrociously awful.
And then improves in the 5th film.
I talked about this last time. It's like trying to pull the plane out of a nosedive and it's too late.
Right.
But at least it like skids.
Doesn't go this, it goes kind of that.
Because honestly, if every film in this series were even remotely as entertaining as this one, I would be a this is my junk food entertainment Twilight fan.
Yeah.
I would revisit the series. I would enjoy it. As it is, there will be no coming back to this. This is a one and done.
I'm done with it.
But I am legit, like, if this were on TV, I would probably watch it.
Jake said that this...
I want to kill you right now, Dad.
Necessary. What does that mean?
I really think it would be better.
I want to know what happened to you.
I can't tell you.
I think I deserve an explanation.
You do.
You do. But if you really need one, I can't stay here.
Oh, come on. No. No more going away.
Dad, you're just gonna have to trust that for whatever reason, I'm all right. I'm more than all right. Can you live with that?
Can I live with that? Well, I don't know, Bella. I mean, I just watched a kid I've known his entire life turn into a very large dog. My daughter looks like my daughter, but doesn't.
You gotta feel for
Can
Charlie.
you please just believe that I'll tell you anything that you need to know?
And I don't need to know this.
No. Really, you don't.
It's actually a rather touching moment of trust.
It is. Yeah, again, Team Mustache Dad. He's great.
Not gonna lose you again. I can't.
And his delivery on very large dog is just
Then you
brilliant.
won't. I promise.
Look, you should have stood up for her when Jake forced himself on her, you know. But that doesn't mean you suck all around. Charlie, I still love you. You're still my favorite character in this train wreck.
And he's at least playing there
Missed
like,
you, Bill.
hey, I'm hugging a, block of stone. I didn't get anything from her during that whole scene. Like,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you were saying something.
I didn't get anything from her that whole scene that she was trying to not eat him. That thing is
Put it away!
so bad.
Put it away!
It's so bad. It's honestly, I'm not going to blame the CG artist for this. I'm going to blame the director for making a stupid choice.
Yeah.
And then forcing it onto visual effects artists and then going, well, I'll do the best I can.
This is deepfake, a decade before deepfake, and it's
Terrible.
Buh.
And whoever worked on that, we don't blame you for your work, okay? I don't know who the visual effects house was for this.
Again, sparkle when convenient.
When convenient, when the script calls for it. So I just wanted to include this
My
because
time as a human was over. But I never felt more alive.
you don't need to say that. We see
born
that
to be
on the
a
screen.
Yeah.
We do not need the voiceover.
It's a decent visual moment that tells us everything
Yeah.
we need to know, and then they're like, and by the way,
Stephanie Meyer decided to cram an entire series worth of plot into the last 120 pages of the last book.
yeah.
In order to get through that as quickly as we can, because we had to adhere very closely to these books, we're just going to have her explain to you what is going on. Show, don't tell.
Yeah.
That's what you do in a movie. If you're telling, not showing, you suck at movies.
Well, you've got her like outrunning Edward and arm wrestling Kellen Lutz and like jumping over the river, and these are all things that capture like how cool it is to her that she's now a vampire, and capture them effectively. Like we don't need the narration.
I've had a bad habit of underestimating you.
Yes.
True.
Every obstacle you faced, I think you couldn't overcome
Boy,
it. And you just did.
you know what would be great is this scene
You were the
without this
reason I have somebody to
friggin'
fight.
twangly music.
Hang on.
My family.
So Edward is saying to
We're
Bella,
finally getting Edward not being terrible,
And
it
we're
took
almost
until
done.
here.
we're almost done.
Yeah.
And Edward's finally not terrible. And he owns. It's nice ownership. I have consistently underestimated you.
Yep.
And there's all these challenges, and I didn't think you could handle them, and you smashed right through every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's actually a fairly nice bit of accountability. It does make me think that Bella should be hearing this going, yeah, why am I even with you?
Why? Hang on.
You haven't really been here for me. You have underestimated me. I mean, he's
Consistently.
straight up
Even
told-
after I like made it through stuff. Even after that, you still underestimated me.
But at least he's like, hey, I haven't believed in you, and I really, really made you work for it, but I finally believe in you. Like, you had to earn it.
Literal superhuman proof is what I needed.
But I like this moment of accountability. I think it's a nice moment of tenderness, and the reason that it pisses me off is the story. Then
It's unearned.
The story. I wouldn't say that it's unearned at this point because he's seen all the things that she can do. The story, the messaging is, hey, if you're dating a guy and he's abusive and controlling, but he's pretty and you see potential in him,
Just keep at it.
just keep chipping away.
Because sooner or later, he's going to realize that he was wrong, and he should have believed in you the whole time. And he's going to see not just your potential as a possession, but as an actual human being.
And that's the messaging. And the unfortunate truth is, most Edwards don't get there.
He was never even approaching this.
No. And so, like, on the one hand, it's a really nice moment, and on the other hand, that actually makes it more dangerous.
Yeah.
Because it's selling this mythology of, I can change him. It's
Yep.
selling this mythology of, he will see.
The whole point of Twilight is my magic sex will fix broken boy.
My magic sex will fix broken boy. I want them to, like, roll out a whole new line where they rename the books. Aro and the Volturi are here because someone's turned into a vampire as a child or as a baby.
Yeah.
They have to be destroyed because they won't be able to control
They can't
themselves,
control
and so they
themselves.
can't keep the secret and everyone will know, which leads to the most messed up thing in any of these films.
Dakota Fanning throwing a literal child into a fire.
Yes. Just very casually.
Just casually, just like whoop-de-doo, whoop.
It is the most horrible thing, and I could not stop laughing.
I know. Michael Sheen is just a global treasure, and I love him to death. Dakota
Takes
Fanning
one
is
to know one.
Dakota Fanning is a wonderful actor, and I can't tell if she was having so much fun making these or she was collecting so much paycheck. Because she plays it so straight.
Yeah, but Michael Sheen is clearly doing both.
Michael Sheen is he's sucking the marrow out of life is what he's doing, and I'm here for it.
And every time, ironically, because he's a dead character, every time he's on screen, like, this movie just comes so alive.
to life.
Young Bella.
Don't elevator look her.
Brutality becomes you. I hear a strange heart.
Oh, man.
That moment almost makes it worth it, the entire journey.
That makes 5 terrible films worthwhile, almost.
So he's going to confirm that she's not a vampire child.
Yeah, vampire child. She's something else.
She's not a threat to the vampires, and she has control of herself.
Hello, Aro.
His laugh when he reads her thoughts. He's so great.
So great.
Magnifico.
Half mortal, half immortal, conceived and carried by this newborn, while she was still human. Impossible. Do you think they fooled me, brother?
That little bit of menace in his voice there. Oh, man.
And I like Bella and Edward as protective parents. I mean, they're not protecting their daughter from Jacob.
But from the real threat.
He turns into a wolf around our daughter. This is fine.
This is fine.
And then the battle!
Fighty, fighty, punchy, punchy.
Which is actually entertaining as hell.
Yeah, look, most of it's dumb. And they really, really, really missed a trick of like, look, everyone has superpowers. Let them use their superpowers in interesting ways.
Yeah. But people die. I'm really worried about what she's doing to him because it looks a little too enjoyable.
Doesn't look like pain so much.
Yeah, it doesn't. And no wonder Alice is concerned. Oh, off with his head. If you're watching this for the first time, it's like...
It's shocking how much violence there is. It's like, whoa!
Well, all these characters that you've known, I wouldn't say cared about, but at least known.
Yeah, a bunch of them die. Like, Carlisle dies right off the bat. Oof. You could literally, and Alice is like a, ballerina, right?
You could see what people are gonna do.
She should just be dancing her way through everyone, just murdering everybody.
Because she knows what they're gonna do.
Because she knows what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't that happen? And, oh, geez, I don't know who that was. It's some dog, but he's dead now.
And the other dogs are sad and
sad wolves.
Oh, it's the death rattle. And Jake,
with his
ruh-roh
doggy telepathy, wolfy telepathy. Sorry.
Again, he's protecting her, I guess, but like he's also.
Well, and then through all of this, somehow she stays on his back.
Yeah.
That was a fun shot. The dog runs off, and then the body, and then the head drop.
Not Rami!
He can control the elements, and he's been doing nothing this whole time except punching people, and then
he's gonna cause an earthquake like an idiot.
Rip the planet in half.
That's gonna put everyone on his side in danger, and quite a few of them are gonna.
Yeah. It's... The scene is not as well executed as it could have been, but it was still shocking because it also doesn't happen in the book.
I mean, you talk about show not tell. I mean, it's kind of a cop-out that you see all this, and then it's just like Alice showing Arrow. This is how the fight would go.
Yeah, but that's actually kind of fun.
But it
was a fun twist at the end. It's like, oh, hey, cool.
Right.
This is
nice face.
Poof.
So Edward is suddenly Clark Kent.
He's suddenly Superman.
Oh.
But again, Edward can read people's thoughts. He should be just whatever. So this little confrontation here. Okay. Maybe she's seeing the future and that's how she's dodging everybody or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But like, it doesn't read on camera. This actress is not selling the physicality of running very well. She looks like she's jogging behind her there.
Yeah.
But this...
That face! That's the face.
This part is great.
Oh, wow. Licking his chops.
Now, if I was directing this, I'm just going to tell you what I would have done. I would have stayed on that overhead shot for about 2 seconds longer, and I would have stayed on that shot for about 3 seconds longer before the head rip comes off, and the head would have ripped, and you would have heard it, and then the dog's face would have just come up towards camera, and then...
That's badass!
Because here's the thing. Like, I don't know about the rest of you, but I have a visceral, and I think this might just be a human, like, we're scared of wild animals thing. Like, This is a gut instinct thing. A dog or a large, a
wolf
predator, a wolf or a bear, attacking and, like, ripping, right? Mm-hmm. Gripping onto something and there's, like, doing that ripping motion that it does for about a second is so scary. and so gut-wrenching. And it's like, just sit on it for a while. Like, give us the thrill of, like, she hurts people.
Yeah,
Let
she deserves
her
to die.
hurt.
Yeah.
And, like, let's watch it. Let's watch Sam finally gets to, you know, really be the alpha for a minute. It's like, let him just rip her apart.
Oh, man.
That would be fun. And we're talking about, you know, these are vampires. They don't bleed. They don't whatever. We can get away with a ton of violence in this because nobody's bleeding.
Right.
And apparently the MPAA has decided no matter how much violence there is, if there's no blood, it doesn't count.
Or if it's like black orc blood in
Or
Lord
if
of
it's
the Rings.
black orc blood, then sure, lop heads off. We don't care. There's a couple other things I would have done too. I would have actually had, when she grabs Dakota Fanning, I would have had her incapacitate her in some way, either, you know, pull her arms and legs off or something.
Yeah.
And then just drag her along the ground over to the dog. And then, you know, have them look at each other. Like, I would have just drawn this out.
Yeah, well, especially because
you can take a breath.
The vampires and the dogs historically, and the vampires and the werewolves historically don't get along.
Right.
So to have this moment of unity of like, we both want this person dead, and that actually bonds us.
Mhm.
You know, like where they look at each other like, here's
I did
Nagini
part of it
dinner.
in here. Yeah, Nagini dinner. Yes.
Nagini dinner.
I appreciate that they did something here that they didn't do in the books that's actually a lot of fun. I would have approached it differently as a director because every director approaches everything differently. That's why we see movies by different people.
Yeah.
You know, and there were obviously a lot of other people working on this. There's a stunt crew. There's, you know, the cinematographer. It's not a director making all of these decisions.
Yeah.
But in aggregate, this is fun, and I think they could have gotten a lot more out of it if they'd put more thought and effort into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So then this unbelievable line of dialogue is uttered.
Nobody's ever loved anybody as much as I love you.
Okay, so...
Teenager much?
And if you
Boy.
actually have to say the line to sell the idea, you didn't do your job right.
Yeah.
Because if I'm reading the story and the story's been told well...
I got that already.
I feel that.
I figured it out.
I feel like, and I feel it by the end. I will feel this is a love story for the ages.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, what we have is this is a love story for the ages. Get it? Get it? It's not. It's not.
It's not.
The last film.
It's a love story for the late aughts.
There is some charm with Charlie. There are moments in the last two films where there's adequate direction.
I hate to admit it. I
I
did
know.
have some fun.
And the simple fact is, these are good actors.
Great actors.
This is actually a pretty damn interesting universe.
It's not bad.
But the messaging is toxic. The relationships just get worse.
They do.
Jake and Renesmee.
It's the worst.
So should I start calling you Dad?
No.
Like, look, if it's your jam, go ahead and love Twilight.
Sure.
Don't model your relationships after it.
No.
It's dangerous. It is legit dangerous.
I don't model my relationships on Fast and the Furious. Although
No.
I do live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Well, I don't think we could end on a better note than that. Hey, did we just crawl through 800 yards of shit?
We sure did, Jono.
We did it.
We made it.
We finished.
I have died every day waiting.
I find I'm so excited I can barely sit still or hold a thought in my head. I think it's the excitement only a free man can feel. A free man who never has to endure Twilight again.
Where the hell have you been, loco?
I hope they don't make us do 50 Shades or the After series.
Like your Xbox and stuff?
I hope to enjoy better movies with my friend. I hope our Pats and Case do recover from this train wreck.